Dear students, hope you are safe and healthy. My name is Mudassar Abbas and I am lecturer at Institute of Business Studies, Guwahati University of Science and Technology. My area of specialization is human resource management. This is a subject of principles of management, the course code of BS 121. This is chapter 16, which is about employee motivation. Okay, before going into the detail of the lesson, let me share with you two reference books that you can use as a reference. These books are easily available in the market and you can also download them from internet for free. The first book is Principles of Management and its Application. That is written by Ricky W. Griffin. You can download any edition of this. We have 10th edition and onward. The second book is Management by Stephen P. Robbins and Mary Coulter. So you can download any of this book and make it as a reference book. Both books are very readers friendly. So in this chapter we are going to study about certain topics that are related to motivation, such as defining the motivation process, describe 3 early motivation theories, explain how goals motivate people. We'll also learn to differentiate reinforcement theory from goal setting theory, and we'll also learn to identify the ways to design job motivation. Furthermore, we will also learn to describe the motivational implications of equity theory, explain the key relationship in expectancy theory, describe current motivation issues faced by the managers, identify management practices that are likely to lead to motivated employees. Before going into the detail of motivation, we must understand that all managers need to be able to motivate their employees, which first requires understanding of what motivation is. So basically, motivation refers to the process by which a person's efforts are energized, directed, and sustained towards attaining a goal. This definition has 3 elements: energy, direction, and persistence. The energy element is a measure of intensity, drive, and vigor. A motivated person puts forth efforts and work hard. However, the quality of the effort must be considered as well as its intensity. High level of effort don't necessarily lead to favorable job performance unless the effort is channelized in a direction that benefits the organization. Efforts that's directed towards and consistent with organizational goal is a kind of effort we want from employees. Finally, motivation includes persistence dimension. We want employees to persist in putting forth efforts to achieve those goals. Similarly, motivation can also be defined as the willingness to exert high level of efforts to achieve the organizational goals conditioned by the effort's ability to satisfy an individual's need. Now we can see that in this definition too there are three different focusing areas. Number one is efforts, number two is goals, and number three is needs. Efforts, as we already said, is a measure of intensity or drive. Goals, effort should be directed towards and consistent with the organizational goals. And needs, motivation is a need satisfying process. So that means that for a motivation process to be completed in time and with all the prerequisites, there should be an effort and there should be goals, because without goal there is no motivation, and there should be a need or the feeling of some need. Now what is need? It is an internal state that makes certain outcomes appear attractive. For example, you want a good GPA in the class or in your final degree, so you need to work hard for that. So this GPA actually motivates you to work hard. Now this unsatisfied need creates a tension that stimulates drive. That means until and unless you do not have a high GPA, there will be a constant tension or constant stress, but that stress should be positive on you, which stimulates you to work hard or which motivates you to work hard. There are different scientists who propose different theories related to the concept of motivation, and today we are going to discuss them one by one. The first theory that is presented to explain the concept of motivation is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Probably this is the best known theory, which is presented by Abraham Maslow, and it is called as Maslow hierarchy of needs. Maslow was a psychologist who proposed that within a person there is a hierarchy of needs, and he divided these needs into 5 different categories. The first one is physiological needs, second, safety needs, third, social needs, 4, esteem needs, and last one is self-actualization. He also subdivided these needs into 2 major categories: the lower order needs and the higher order needs. So now let's discuss these needs one by one. The first one is physiological needs. A person's need for food, drink, shelter, sex, and other physiological requirement. This is the basic need of every person, without which a person cannot survive. The second is safety needs. A person's need for security, protection from physical and emotional harms, as well as assurance that physical needs will continue to be met. The third one is social needs. A person's need for affection, belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. The fourth is esteem needs. A person's need for internal esteem factors such as self-respect, autonomy, achievement, and external esteem factors such as status, recognition, and attention. The last one is self-actualization needs. A person need for growth, achieving one's potential, and self-fulfillment. The drive to become what one is capable of becoming. Now, Maslow argued that each level in the need hierarchy must be substantially satisfied before the next need becomes dominant. An individual moves up in the need hierarchy from one level to next. In addition, Maslow separated the 5 needs into higher and lower levels. Physiological and safety needs were considered lower order needs. Social, esteem, and self-actualization needs were considered higher order needs. The lower order needs are predominantly satisfied externally, while higher order needs are satisfied internally. Now, the question arises that how does Maslow's theory explain motivation? Managers using Maslow hierarchy to motivate employees do things to satisfy employees' needs. But the theory also says that once a need is substantially satisfied, an individual is no longer motivated to satisfy that need. Therefore, to motivate someone, you need to understand what need level that person is on the hierarchy and focus on satisfy the needs at or above that level. This Maslow need theory was widely recognized during the 1960s and 70s, especially among practicing managers, probably because it was intuitively logical and easy to understand. But Maslow provided no empirical support for his theory, and several studies that sought to validate it could not. So, as we discussed in our previous slide, that in Maslow hierarchy of need, each level in the hierarchy must be satisfied before the next level is activated. And we say that until and unless the lower order need is not satisfied, a person do not feel the urge for satisfying the higher order need. The theory received wider recognition among the researchers and practicing managers. However, there was a little research support for validating the theory. So now let's explain the Maslow hierarchy of need with the help of this diagram. The first or basic need is physiological need, and we said it includes food, sex, and related basic needs, without which a person cannot exist. So, until and unless the first need is not satisfied, a person will not feel the urge for these other needs. Once the first level is satisfied, the person will feel the need for safety and security. And when this safety and security is satisfied, the person will start need for social recognition. Until and unless the safety need is not satisfied, there will be less urge or negligible urge for social recognition. And when the social recognition is satisfied, the person will move towards the need of self-esteem. Similarly, after the satisfaction of self-esteem, an individual moves up in the hierarchy towards self-actualization, which is the highest level of need. So you can see that there is a hierarchy of needs, and until and unless the lower level of need is not satisfied, we cannot think of an individual for urging higher order needs.